So let's talk about Voidsmen with shotguns. Today we've got some Imperial Navy breaches and some interesting teasers of Space Hulk terrain. Hello and welcome back to Warspecs Tactics, where earlier we talked about the new recruits that were revealed for the Kill Team preview, and I thought we'd follow up by talking about the other parts of the box set, the Imperial Navy breaches with shotguns. The idea that we're going to be getting several other Space Hulk themed Kill Team releases, potentially with some other really fun stuff for Warhammer 40k, and also a few interesting glimpses of plastic Space Hulk Kill Team terrain, which I must admit does look like it could be an interesting modelling opportunity. First up, let's talk about the actual Kill Team release. It's called Kill Team Into the Dark, this new box set. It's going to be set on a Space Hulk called Gallo Dark, and apparently the other next Kill Team releases are also going to be set on this same Space Hulk as well. It sort of has a few vibes of the Blackstone Fortress series of releases, that one for Warhammer Quest. Basically a big twisted mass of space debris and dangerous things lurking within. Sounds kind of similar, at least on the surface. The Into the Dark box set is going to have some of the terrain and two essentially warbands of looters fighting over it, the new and resculpted crew kindred, and a rather cool little Imperial Navy boarding party on the other side. I think it was pretty handy though that Games Workshop did clarify that the other Kill Team box sets would also be set on the same Space Hulk. Previously, I think a lot of people were expecting these new Kazakin models to be announced in the set. They are based in the same way as the other Kill Team models that we've seen previewed, and it does kind of imply that the Imperial Guard Kazakin will feature in one of the next couple of box sets of Kill Teams, presumably facing off against some sort of other alien horror, maybe Gene Stealers or something Chaos. I guess not the best for Imperial Guard fans in the meantime. I think that a lot of people were hoping that Kazakin might be dropping sooner rather than later. Otherwise in the kit though, perhaps the most interesting development for Kill Team is that it's going to be set on a Space Hulk, so lots of indoor type terrain. It could well be similar to the Necron release of Kill Team Pariah, or perhaps somewhat reminiscent of the actual game Space Hulk itself. That one, Blood Angels Terminators versus Gene Stealers of course. If they are going to be setting multiple different Kill Team expansions on it, I do wonder if they might have some sort of really cool system where the terrain can work together, and if you get all three sets, then it could build some sort of massive Super Space Hulk. I think that could be a really fun idea. But I do admit, I think setting it on an indoor environment makes it a less tempting pickup for 40k collectors. If the main draw is the models, then having scenery that you can't even use in 40k isn't exactly going to be a big selling point. These boxes have been a bit on the expensive side in the past. I believe Kill Team Morok was £125 or $210, which really is a bit on the pricey side. Otherwise, for future releases, they did say that other spacefaring factions might well be getting a Kill Team. To me, that sounds like a fairly solid hint that Leagues of Votan might receive one. I was already thinking that Hearthkin Warrior Squad does sound like it could be a Kill Team. They are supposed to have things like medics and comms operators in the squad, and it sounds very Kill Teamy to me. We already took a look at the Troop Kindred in the previous video. That's going to be an updated unit for 40k, but facing off against them is another interesting corner of 40k explored for the first time. Imperial Navy Voidsmen, apparently a breacher team sent in to clear out other ships if they need to do a bit of a boarding action. I think the models are pretty fun looking, to be honest. These will just be 3 of them out of presumably 10 models, and I believe they'll also have that little cat device thing, a remote control scanner robot. It was a little bit annoying of Games Workshop not to show off the full unit. We've only got 3 models of what I will presume to be a squad of 10. 2 armed with shotguns, and one of them having a really cool looking Imperial Navy breacher shield thing, and then perhaps some sort of sergeant or commander armed with a bolt pistol. I think there are a few other sculpts shown off in their preview video, but they perhaps don't make them quite as clear as they did with the Kroot ones. I think that the models do look quite good. It is interesting to see the other military organisations of the Imperium explored a bit more. We hear a lot about them in the background, but perhaps just don't really ever see very many miniatures of them or appearing in too much artwork, just because the focus of 40k tends to really fixate on the really big armies and things that you'd see in open war as opposed to smaller skirmishing squads like this. The helmets look really quite nice. A few of them have the insignia of the Imperial Navy on them, and they've got some fun and very shiny boots going on. Seeing as it looks like you could field a squad of these with shotguns, it could be kind of fun to use these as something like Imperial Guard veterans if you wanted. Could be an interesting little count size if you did want to represent them in-game in 40k. I am genuinely quite interested as to whether or not these would get a Warhammer 40k datasheet or not though. My guess is that they probably would give them some sort of rules representation. I think that all of the kill teams that they have come out with so far have got 40k rules, just so people who want to fill them alongside some Imperial armies can do so if they'd like to, if they just really want to add the models to an Imperial force. I feel like if they wanted to, they could do something very similar to the Rogue Traders, which I still found kind of interesting that they updated the rules for, despite not actually having the models on sale in any form. They could maybe go for a bit more of a generic Voidsman type datasheet, and maybe have the agents of the Imperium keyword, so you could include a unit of them in an Imperial detachment without ruining all the rest of your army keywords, and just having a fun little allied unit to fight alongside. While we're on the subject, I do wonder if there might be a chance they could bring back those Voidsmen at Arms for one of these Space Hulk type releases. If Rogue Traders are going to make their appearance again, then I guess a Space Hulk wouldn't be the most unlikely place for them to do so. Speaking of which, I think the other interesting thing of this kit was the Space Hulk terrain that they've teased. Again, it is a bit frustrating that all they've given us are a few scattered shots of the things that's going to be coming with the kit, but they haven't bothered to actually show off a full overview of the kit. I guess they're going to be waiting for that for some sort of Warhammer community article, though I do feel like a live show would have been a good time to actually talk you through the entire thing. They gave us a photo of a few of the different panels of the bits that I presume are going to be included. And then we've got this shot of Deathcore Krieg fighting against Tau Pathfinders on some Space Hulk terrain. They made a fairly big deal about the plastic flooring that you can get for it. It looks like there's going to be some ceiling overhangs too. I'd imagine that there's going to be a fair amount of bulkheads and a lot of things to make the game feel a lot more enclosed and inside rather than outside. I'd definitely be interested to see the whole thing in full, though with these few little teasers at the moment, I'm not really convinced that it shows us all that much. In any case, I'm sure it'll be a fun little release, quite cool to see two entire new kits of new models, and not just some existing kits with an extra upgrade sprue thrown in, maybe things that weren't necessarily needed to be upgraded in the first place, like the Primaris Infiltrators. Let me know your thoughts on the Imperial Navy breaches as well. Do you think that they'll be getting 40k rules, or might it be a case of counting them as something else if you wanted to put them on the battlefields of the 41st millennium? If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where I'll certainly keep the regular 40k videos coming. I do tend to post new ones just about every day. Finally, if you have been enjoying the videos on the channel and you'd like to help support, I would just like to mention one way in which you can do so, and that's my Element Games affiliate link, which is down in the video description below. If you're in the UK and looking to pick up some 40k models at some stage, Element Games is a discount retailer, usually giving somewhere around 10 to 20% off Games Workshop's models. If you click the link and order anything, then a small amount goes to help support Auspex Tactics, and it doesn't cost you any more when you pick something up. Can just be a way to help support the channel if you were thinking about buying something anyway. Otherwise, for people over in the USA, I do also have an Amazon link down there as well. That one works in much the same way. Click the link, buy literally anything off Amazon whatsoever, and a small amount goes to help support Auspex Tactics without costing you any more. Again, could be nice if you wanted to, if you were picking up something from Amazon anyway. A big thank you to you guys who have been using those, and an absolutely massive thank you for listening. I'll hope to see you guys next time.